Welcome to Sunday Live. Sorry I didn't make it last weekend. I was tired. Mr. Willie, always first on scene. Great to see you. Miss Zippo's watching on the big screen today. Well, a bigger screen. Hope the sound's better too. You have your AirPods in, sweetie? How you doing, Willie? Doing all right? I want to send a quick shout out and a quick prayer to everybody on the West Coast that's suffering through the flooding right now. Howdy, Dave. Suffering through the flooding right now. It's a bad thing, and the wounds are still fresh from the last time. So here's hoping that everybody's lives over there can return to normal as soon as they can. In fact, a friend of mine and Lisa's both is out there helping with relief. Tim, when did Tim go out, Lisa? Howdy, David. Did you get one of those portable carports, Willie? Been thinking about getting one of those and closing it in so I can put it back behind the shop. That or getting a 20-foot storage container. Tired of looking at the mess that's back there. Just realized that my nose is. Hello, Manolo. Yeah, they don't cost that much. I can pick one up for less than I paid for Smokey. Speaking of Smokey, Smokey let us down on Saturday. Howdy, Wild Bill. Smokey let us down on Saturday. We were getting ready to head up to Redline Motorsports up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and we pulled in to get some ethanol-free fuel. I stepped on the brakes, and I heard this rather distinct and unnerving sound. It was metal on metal. My back brake through a brake pad. 12 by 20 metal frame. Suggest pricing Amazon first because they have great cheap 4-year protection plan. Thank you, Willie. 12 by 20. That'd be great. Boo! Great to have you. I don't know if that weather is affecting you much, Boo, but if it is, prayers to y'all. But anyway, that cut our ship short. Let me try it again. Our trip short. There we go. I got it out right that time. So I limped back home on Smokey about 11, maybe 12 miles. Just stayed on the highway and kept my distance from everybody, keep myself and Miss Zippo safe, and just used the front brake and the transmission to slow me down, get us stopped, and get us back home. And then I thought, I've already got the parts. I can go ahead and replace these back brakes real quick. So, howdy, Leonard. Jason, great to see you. You're welcome, Boo. So, Miss Lisa said you should not turn me loose at the grocery or at Walmart. She spent a little bit more than what she usually does because she and I usually go together on Saturday or Sunday to get our grocery shopping done. And Bryce, great to see you. Rusty, howdy. Sorry about that. I had to dust my screen. Seems to happen every time I do my live stream, I can see the dust. Shipshawana. Yep. I've been close, but I've not made it all the way up there before. Jason, the weather here is really, really, really good here in central Indiana. Wayne, my good friend, aka Grinchy, but more on Smokey and Lisa's shopping trip. Howdy, CMB. I got done changing the brakes. You have to take the saddlebags off to get to the single brake caliper on the left side of the bike on the rear. And so got the saddlebag off, got everything off there, got the rotor cleaned up, had just a little bit of flashing on it from where because as soon as I heard the grinding, I stopped using the back brake altogether, fortunately. Then got everything put back together about the same time that Miss Zippo was in the checkout and getting ready to head home. And then she got home and showed me all of her pretty new clothes that she picked up. And pretty cool stuff. So one really, I'm really looking for, I mean, I enjoy snuggling up with her anyway, but she got this one really nice pullover hoodie that is, howdy, Paul. Really fuzzy and just soft as can be. But anyway, so then we went ahead and we hopped on back on Smokey after I got the brakes done, and I commented the rest of that day how, wow, those brakes work good. Howdy, Larry, again, I think. Nope. Hello, Larry, for the first time. My apologies. I appreciate that, Jason, and I hope that the content that I put on is helpful. So what did we do yesterday? Isn't that awful? Sorry, guys, I'm suffering with my neck is causing me a good bit of grief. I moved the wrong way today, and we had to cut our ride short. I'll catch up with you just a second there, Willie. Yesterday we went to, we just rode to Madison County, which is a neighboring county, and I introduced her to Art's famous roast beef sandwiches. Oh, they are so good, so good, so good. Thank you, Mr. Marquez. I appreciate that very, very much. Let me get to Willie's here real quick. Working on 92 Dodge brakes today. Myself and brother's doing brakes on a Toyota. What a coincidence. That's funny. Yeah, brakes. Lots of brakes. I've got the front brakes to do, but I'm not going to do the front brakes until I replace the fork seals because I'm leaking oil down onto the left caliper, and it would just be a colossal waste of time for me to change it. So, but anyway, just had awesome brakes. So then we kind of lazed around a little bit this morning. Didn't get moving until about noon 30-ish, somewhere around there. And decided I wanted to go to Noodles and Company. So we went to Noodles and Company. We put, I think, 40 miles on the bike today because we did run up to, it was kind of funny. We had to go, we ran to Miss Zippo's house for a specific reason, and that specific reason, it didn't happen. For her to grab some information, she didn't grab the information, but it all worked out. It all worked out good anyway. So park. Oh, that's right, the park. Well, how in the world can I forget? Yes, Falls Park, and it was my park. It's called Falls Park. Yeah, and we got some really neat live photos and regular photographs, and then we discovered that our handy dandy fancy phones will create a video for us all on its own with its own music and everything. It'll create a video clip. So we both put together video clips of our day yesterday, which is really neat, really neat. So we went to the park, and then after we left Pendleton, then we went to Arts. Right. How could I forget that? It's just because my neck's hurting. Bit little. Howdy. Thank you for stopping by. Bryce, hey Zip, if this isn't a bad question to ask, you decided on what timeline for your giveaway contest. Is going to go ask if you would like some stickers, but I have to order from my supplier in New York City. If I would like some stickers to give away, I've got my own. I believe I've shown them before. If that's what you meant, Bryce, I'm not sure if that's what you meant. If you meant some of your cred stickers, that would be cool. And we can wait a little while. Bob Hop, you're here. Guys, the show can now start. Bob Hop's here. And Max is here. So, but I do have my own stickers, and they even have a QR code. You can take your smartphone and scan that, and it will take you directly to my channel. CMB, you found another 700 Wonder Boy with a blower for sale. Hopefully going to get it too if the guy responds. Awesome. You can never have too many tractors. You need to have as many tractors. Oh, yeah, Bryce, I will get. You're just going to have to keep reminding me. You know how busy I am. You have to keep reminding me. I did get a couple mailed out. Squeaky Wheel gets the grease. I got a couple mailed out the other day. And I've still got to get some mailed out to Papa Doug. So, but yes, I've got, in fact, I went out and I bought 2 books of stamps so that I can get them mailed out. So hang in there. I'll get them. Well, yep. Well, pretty soon it's going to be Lisa's birthday, so they may end up being Lisa's birthday present. That's funny. Yeah, we can throw some cred stickers in there too if you want to, Bryce. That would be great. C&B tractor, depending on the price. And I was getting ready to say, give me just a second, LKP. You can never have too many tractors because you need to have a tractor for every implement that you would use on your property. Justification. If it's snowing out, you need one with a snow blade, one with a snow blower. If you've got yard work and gravel drives to do, well, you have to have a grader blade on one and a mower on the other, so on and so forth. If you've got a garden that you're tending, you need a plow and a cultivator and a tiller. It just goes on and on and on and on. Howdy, George. Okay, LKP. Let me get back to you. Just got an Alice Chalmers redoing the tiller blades and belt. Looked it up on your video. Was the best fit for what I needed, even if the video was from 2010. Thanks, man. Yeah, you bet, LKP. I've got most of the videos that I've not revisited pertaining to the Simplicity and Alice Chalmers are the older videos, and there's a lot of really good information on them. That's why I've just left them up. The video quality is kind of crap, but the information's still there. And Bryce, yes, that would be fantastic. That would be great. Thank you. Glenn, welcome. I'll leave that up to Miss Lisa if she wants to announce when that is. She can. Not for me to say. And there you have it. Okay, she put it in. Mr. Sweener, Mr. Doug, I was just talking about you. I do have you on my list down here to get some decals off to you, brother. So hang in there. You're in good company, Glenn, or she's in good company, Glenn. Okay, Bit Little asks, Alice Chalmers front end loader, what are they worth and what would you ship? That depends. What does it depend on? Well, is it a L10 loader that's a trip bucket, or is it an L12 that is a hydro dump bucket, or is it an L112, which is a heavier duty long frame hydraulic dump bucket? it's as broad as it is wide. Will it also include the subframe? Is it a long frame subframe, short frame subframe? Does it include the weight box? Is the weight box and the bucket itself in good shape? How are the hydraulic cylinders? How's all the mechanics? How's your proportioning valve and all that? Then when you get down to shipping, your biggest issue with shipping is the bulk of it. If they're done correctly, they will fit on a standard pallet. And the best way to do that is to go through Fastenal Logistics. You can get it done the cheapest. It's not the quickest shipping method, but it is the cheapest shipping method. You give them the approximate weight and the approximate dimensions, making sure that it will sit on the pallet, and you'll set it upright, straight up and down, stack everything up as tall as you want, and get a quote from your closest Fastenal. But you have to go through the website, Fastenal Logistics. I have shipped entire tractors for under $200. Complete no weight box works fine. Okay. An L112 is the dump bucket turbocharged. I'm so glad Glenn's here. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. We plan on being together long enough that I'm going to get her a beautiful lump of coal, and by the time it'll turn into a diamond. It will. It'll turn into a diamond. We'll be together that long. I'm sorry, honey. Doug, if you please send it to me again, if you would, please, to my Gmail address. The 112 is the creme de la creme. It's the top of the line as far as a cost goes, as long as the subframe's good, no added welds, pumps in good shape, all the hoses and everything is present and it's complete and ready to bolt on. You're in the $1,100 to $1,600 range, depending on overall condition. Howdy, John. Mr. O'Donnell is in the house, guys. Great to have you, John. Thank you very, very much for stopping by. And went to high school in New Jersey. You in North Jersey around New York, or South Jersey around PA? Quick, duck zip, here comes the frying pan. Oh, she knows I'm teasing her. And she would actually probably be perfectly content if I found a spare piece of mint flavored dental floss and made her a wedding ring or a ring out of that. Coastal. Okay. I'm trying to remember where I used to go all the time. I used to go out. Where'd I go? I was about an hour from the coast in Maple Shade, New Jersey, which is near Cherry Hill, Morristown, Cinnaminson, Pennsauken, Palmyra, those areas there. Big little 450 pounds. Yeah, it weighs less than a tractor. Point Pleasant. Okay, thank you. Thank you, John. Well, Mike, I'm sorry, but I cannot just take your word for it. I will need photo proof. You have my email address. Okay, C&B tractor, you get your fingers typing for what's going to make us all laugh, and the 450 pounds to a bit little. Yeah, the tractors weigh, the tractor that I sent was an HB 112, and I shipped it up to Michigan. I paid it was $175 to ship. I strapped it to the pallet. It included a deck and a number of other things, and the total weight on it was just under 1,000 pounds. It was just $175. That's right, cigar bands. I can give her a cigar band. Yeah. I think it's great you got it done so quick, Mike. When I did my 3212 variable from start to finish, you got to realize I'm retired. I started on that, and it was 38 days, and that's at every single nut and bolt, tear down, strip down, restoration. But 38 days is what it took me to get to 3212V done. And that was humping it. That was a lot of hours every single day of the week. My chat just disappeared. There it goes. Boy, you're really trying to end up on the couch, aren't you? Oh no, you need you. I'll tell you, Glenn. Lisa is the most down to earth, most wonderful. She's just I don't know. She's perfect. She's perfect. I don't know how else to put it. And I'm not saying that so that she'll get all weepy eyed and everything and think that a cigar band would be great. I'm saying that because it's the truth. Known her for 14, almost 15 years. And we've been together in 4 days. We'll be together for 8 months. And we're, we get along fantastically. We have, oh, yeah, we're made for one another. You know, sometimes you got to wait till you're 50 years old until you, or 52 now, till you find the right one for you. But yeah, she was very patient. Thanks, Glenn. Okay, where's the story that we were waiting on? Something funny here. Don't forget the CMB tractor saw something that will make everyone laugh. All right, CMB, here we go. Okay, for sale. Encyclopedia Britannica, full 45-piece set for sale, $1,000. Don't need it anymore. Got married last week. Wife thinks she knows everything. Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, I'll tell you, that's also the beauty with Lisa and I is she has her vast knowledge and I've got mine, and the two of them, they mesh and they work. So we both have our weak points, and using both of our weak points, we are able to accentuate one another. Well, I cook all the time, Glenn. Bit little, you bet. Best of luck to you. Best of luck to you. 2 months in, Larry, I am really digging the sonic cleaner. It helps so much. Don, welcome, 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 welcome. Yeah, okay, Max, about that. What Miss Zippo and I do is we get on our smartphones, we pick a destination-ish, whether we want to go northeast, southwest, whatever, and we come to an agreement. All right, well, let's go to Madison County or Hamilton County, or which then this weekend it was, we were trying to decide on whether we were going to go to Tipton County or to Hamilton County, but it always winds up being a compromise between the two of us. And then she had mentioned Pendleton, that we hadn't been through Pendleton, so we looked at restaurants in Pendleton. Didn't see anything that really tripped our trigger, but she wanted to show me the park, and it's my park. It literally is. You pull up to that park, and the park says Falls Park. That's my last name. It's my park. So we went up there and we spent a couple hours up there taking pictures and walking around and crashing some kind of a, I don't know, homecoming picture. Just a bunch of kids all dressed up in dresses that were way too short and cut way too low at the top. Just if I was a parent, I'd just been like, oh, no, 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 no. Around the knees, and yeah, over off the shoulders is fine, but you keep that stuff covered up. Yeah, I know I'm a prude, but Donald, how are you, buddy? So Max, yeah, as far as where she wants to eat, I'll ask, what sounds good to you? And it's usually I don't know, but we've got it figured out. Yeah, I, I, yeah, I kind of tend to, yeah, Glenn. Yep. Um, but back to where we want to eat. We had planned on me cooking dinner tonight, and she helps with dinner here. And when I'm over there, I'll help with dinner there if she needs my help. But typically, she has it on the stove and cooking. I just stand in there and look pretty while she's slaving over the stove. But we get along great. This is, I guess, this is a dedicated Miss Zippo video here with a little bit of other information mixed in between. So, Donald, what do you have going on that's got you busy there, buddy? Mike, got the engine on the 725 running for the first time in 30 plus years last weekend. It smokes a bit. Did the valves, gasket, cylinder look great? I think it might clear out eventually. Mike, as you may very well know, if you pulled the piston, did you pull the piston out and clean the ring grooves and mic the ring end gap and the whole nine, or did you just get the engine running? Gotcha, Donald. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Papa Doug. I appreciate it. How's Mama Sweener doing? Way to go, Max. And it's funny you say that because ask Miss Zippo what I had a hankering for all weekend long. Max, I didn't get the invitation all weekend long. I'm like, let's go. I mean, I was actually picking. It didn't happen, but I was picking. Oh, okay. Well, I have to admit, I do make a pretty good spaghetti sauce. I was asking all weekend for Italian. Then wound up having what was it? It was still noodles, but it was Thai or something like that. It was good. Had it at Spaghetti Factory. Just got to run. Didn't pull it down that far. Probably should have. It runs great though. Okay. In that case, there is a reason that I asked that, Mike. Put some transmission fluid in the gas tank. Sounds nuts. Say you've got 2 quarts of gas in the gas tank. It's going to smoke like the dickens, but that's okay. Put 2 ounces of transmission fluid in. So 10-to-1 ratio ish, roughly. Japanese pan noodles, that's right. And run that through, and then do another compression test after you're done. Check your compression beforehand. A lot of times when engines sit for that long, all that's happened is that the rings have gotten gummed up, and the transmission fluid, being essentially a hydraulic fluid, will get, it's thinner and it'll get in between the rings and the piston, and oftentimes open them up so that they will release, because oftentimes they just get stuck. So give that a try. I wouldn't worry about tearing it down. I have an engine that I have been trying to kill for going on 10 years in my old Squire, and that engine smoked one like a freight train when I put it in 10 years ago. And as long as I keep, that'll work fine. My, any transmission fluid. And when and also while the engine's just sitting idle, open the spark plug hole and squirt a couple tablespoons of transmission fluid down into the cylinder and let it soak down in through the piston, and that'll also help. But run that full 2 quarts of gas on out of there. We'll just let it run at about half throttle until you've run all that fuel out of there, and then do another compression test, and your compression numbers should come up. But do one now to find out what your compression numbers are now. You should be on the lowest side for an engine that's going to last you a little while, in the 85-ish PSI range. And if you can, run the engine backwards. There's a compression release on those Model 19s. Run the engine backwards, you'll get a more accurate compression test. If you're showing about 60 PSI running it forward, you need to add about roughly 15-20% more compression, because a compression release is actually releasing off compression, so your compression gauge is not reading absolutely correct. So, okay, let me catch up. Noodles and Company, yes. Dextron 3, yes, that will work just fine. I wonder if that would work on my brother's 100-hour, 30-year-old smoking diesel. It's only got 100 hours on it, Willie? Yeah, transmission fluid is like a miracle cure for freeing rings up, getting rid of gums and varnishes. It's an incredible cleaner. In fact, that's what there's a mixture that's used. It's a mixture of mineral spirits and transmission fluid that is used by a lot of the old flathead guys. Talking car flatheads, flathead 4s, flathead 6s, flathead V8s. They will put that mix in the radiator and run the mineral spirits and transmission fluid through the engine so that when they go to pop the head bolts off, they won't snap any studs. It really, really, really penetrates great. Yes, Donald, it is. Yes. And it works fantastic at cleaning stuff up. All right, I missed one from Donald here. Hang on, guys. 26 order surging. I guess I have to look at YouTube. Any ideas on a channel? 26. What is it a Intech, Don, or is it a Vanguard? Catching up. Yes, transmission flow work on a diesel. It cleans the gunk out of the injectors and let it free them up because transmission light oils, light detergents in it. Yes. Good advice. I'll do that. Thank you. I'll do the same on the LSP1. That one smokes too. Yeah, a lot of times all that happens is that the rings just wound up just from the engine sitting for so long. The rings stick and they just get stuck in the groove. And you just got to get them freed up. But you ought to see better compression numbers. If you didn't lap the valves or anything, at the very least, behind the carburetor is your little vent cover or your access cover for your tappets. Make sure that your cam is not touching either of the tappets, and make sure you gauge. I usually just generally go 6/1000 and 6/1000, which is a safe number for heat expansion. So you might check your valve to tappet clearance as well. And then just run a file between the two of them if you don't want to disassemble the valve train. So Glenn's in agreement here that diesel or that transmission fluid is, it's like a miracle fluid. It does great at cleaning all kinds of stuff up. Okay, yeah, I saw the question, Willie, and I'm not ignoring it. I'm not ignoring it. I'm about to answer it. Okay, and Mike, the stuck valves, that's another great thing for transmission fluid. It gets rid of the gums and varnishes. Put a little bit down the valve stem and it'll penetrate into the valve guide and clean that up. Now, as far as John Deere's. All right. I just worked on that Z655 that I had to put the new drive belt on for the deck. Then while I was working on that, the John Deere, what was it, a 225, I think it was, came in for regular service. No sooner did that go out the door, did another John Deere zero turn come in with another broken deck belt. And that one is a John Deere Z445 with a 54-inch deck. So yeah, I'm getting inundated with Deeres, but it's okay. They need love too, right? Right. All right. Where do you find those model type code numbers on those? Model type code numbers on what? Bryce. So there you go, Willie. Yes, I've had a bunch of John Deeres come in. A Deere with a Briggs. I have a video that shows Kohler 26 horse Don. Okay, just a second, Don. Bryce. All Briggs engines have their numbers stamped either on the blower housing or, if they're an overhead valve, on the valve cover itself. And I do have a video out there that shows the most common places to find your numbers. There was a period of time when Briggs was riveting a tag to the top of the early overhead valve engines. A lot of times those tags, rivets, would fail and you would lose the tag. But I'll tell you, Glenn, oh, Joe, yeah, you're in the storm zone. I hope everything is going okay there, that you've got generators on standby. Now, on to Donald Power's Kohler 26 horsepower Craftsman with the V6. And let me scroll back up just a second, guys. Hang on. Surging. All right. On the Kohlers, trying to think. Get on. All right. Well, I hesitate to give information out only because I don't know if the gentleman wants his information put out. But let me talk to him, Don, and get with me on my Facebook Zippo Varga page. If he's willing to chat with you, I will then forward his information on to you, and you two can chat back and forth. Fix a John Deere B today. It'll be good for a week. Yeah. Don't I have a Model A, dear? No. Why wouldn't a redneck drive a tractor with a peerless transaxle? Why wouldn't a redneck drive a tractor with a peerless transaxle? I don't know, Wayne. Oh, Mike, yeah, I can agree to that to a certain extent. You've got to hit a certain plateau with the Deeres, in my opinion. If what you have is a lawn tractor, there's in my opinion, more problems with them than what they're worth. If you have a garden tractor, like the 420 that I had on recently and the 400 that I had on last year, well, then you're in business. Then you've got, in my opinion, just my own personal opinion, you've got a mower or a garden tractor that I would actually own. A John Deere A. So all overheads should be on the valve covers if there's a Briggs. Yes, should be on the valve cover. So Donald, yeah, just get with me on my Zippo Varga. Any horizontal twin is a win, but chances are it is a Vanguard horizontal twin, unless it's a Kohler. If it's talking to Bryce, and if it's a Kohler Triad, Bryce, it's a paperweight. But if it's a Commander or Courage, great. Yeah, I'll agree with that, Mike. I will, absolutely. CMB Tractor, give me this quick question. Or give me this quick second, rather. Okay, I think I'm caught up. CMB Tractor Collectors, how's my shop coming along? Just a second, Bryce. Shop's coming along slow but sure. There last week was just a ton of work in the shop. And there's still a good bit of work that just came in. I've got a wood chipper with a Tecumseh on it, with which you guys saw in the video that I posted. I've got an edger with a Tecumseh on it. I've got the dead generator, which may be a valve problem, may not be, but from the sound that's making, it is a connecting rod. If it is, that's a wash. And I have a steel 029. I have a steel 009L. I have a steel 020. I have two more steel chainsaws. I have two steel weed eaters. There's a lot of work in there. So the progress on the work on the machine shop side of the shop is going kind of slow. Let me get, thank you, James, very, very much. Thank you. Triads. Okay. Bryce, Triad was an engine that was made in the mid 1990s by Kohler. It is a sacrificial cast block with the heads incorporated in the block, and the sleeves are pressed in from the oil pan into the block. They're really, really, really prone to a number of different failures. You more or less just want to stay away from them. It's the overhead cam engine, not the overhead valve, but the overhead cam engines. Those are the ones you want to stay away from. James, again, thank you very, very much. I'm glad you appreciate the videos. Glenn, Zippo's going to add a second floor and another 5,000 square feet. He's going to put a bar room up there with a portable pool table, microwave, big screen TV just for his YouTube friends. Well, I've got the pool table in the house. The main, that's funny, Wayne. Okay, that's good, Bryce. Glenn, I have a second story in the shop. It's not going to be 5,000 square feet. It is right now 24 by 25 feet, and it's just storage. Corey, you know, it's funny, a lot of people say Craftsman garden tractors are cheap. I have one from 99, no hour meter, but I'm guessing it's over 3,000 hours. I've had no issues, and it mows 3 acres. If any riding mower or lawn tractor or garden tractor is well maintained, it will last you. There's just some problem engines out there that it doesn't matter how careful you are with them, they're just going to give up. Mike the Tractor Guy, do I like the Kohler Pro with the hydraulic lifters? Yes, I do. I do. I, in fact, wish that Briggs would go to the hydraulic lifters. They're so nice. Yes, they're prone to blowing head gaskets just like the Briggs overhead valve, but so much easier to work on. I do like those engines. Yes. Something out of the dealer. It needs new rings. So Bryce gets new V-twin horizontal. Ah, cool. Easy enough. You just pull the side pan off, release the connecting rods, pop the pistons out, put new rings in, hone your cylinders, throw everything back together, watch that oil pump assembly, and you ought to be in good shape there, Bryce. It's always Rusty. Howdy. Don't ever change a bearing set on a front load washer when it's hot. Just finished, and man, I'm whooped. All right. I will keep that in mind because I have a front load. I have a front load washer. It's a LG Trom. All right, guys, we've been on for 46 minutes. It has gone so quick. Is it worth miking to check for 10 over standard, do you think? Just mic it, and you also want to check for out around for the cylinder walls being elliptical, like egg-shaped. Use a standard bore micrometer. If you wind up with a bore that's, 2/1000ths bigger left to right than it is up and down, then bore to your next available size. Otherwise, howdy, Chris. Chris Small Engines from Canada. So yes, I would definitely mic it and check to see that the cylinder bore is in good shape. But sounds to me like it's just bad from the factory, and that it might have just had some bad rings put in it to begin with. Joe, thank you guys thank all of you very, very much for Rings Engineering is working on it. They are. Glenn, that's great to hear. Sorry. Guys, I really am. I'm going to cut it out. I've been on here for going on 50 minutes now. I've got to tend to my neck. It's still hurting quite a bit. And plus, it won't be very long. And my woman's going to be picking up her phone and popping in her headphones and giving me a call. Troll, how do? I apologize. I'm getting ready to head out. But thanks for stopping by. Everybody, very happy Sunday. I hope the coming week treats you well. Brother Sloan, I hope that you don't get kicked in the butt too hard by the weather. And I will see all of you. Thank you, Mike, for the pictures. And thank you all of you for the laters and the goodbyes. Say bye, Miss Zippo. I will catch all of you guys throughout the week on projects that are coming up. And I will talk to all of you next Sunday. Zippo later. I'm out of here.